Magandang araw. So welcome to our discussion about the shear stress in beams. So let us introduce the shear stress in steel beams. Steel beams are fundamental components in modern structural engineering, providing strength and stability to buildings, bridges, and various infrastructure projects. Among the critical forces that act on steel beams, shear stress plays a vital role in determining their structural integrity and performance. So this is one of the stresses na pinag-aaralan natin in terms of steel beams. Shear stress refers to the internal force per unit area that acts parallel to the cross-section of material. So in steel beams, it arises primarily from transverse loads, which are forces applied perpendicular to the longitudinal axis of the beam. These loads generate reactions and internal stresses that the beam must resist to maintain equilibrium and to prevent failure. So understanding the distribution and magnitude of shear stress is essential for ensuring the safety and efficiency of structural designs. So take note that sinasabi nga sa atin dito that this is an internal force per unit area. So, kumbaga, di ba, parang alam naman din natin that the stress refers to the force over the area. So, ganun pa rin naman yung kanyang magiging formula. And take note that this acts parallel to the cross-section of the material. So traditionally, shear stress in steel beams is analyzed using the principles of mechanics of materials, including the application of the shear formula. And this is the shear formula wherein shear stress is equal to VQ over IB, wherein if V is equal to the shear stress at a given point in the cross section, V is the shear force acting on the beam, Q is the first moment of the area above or below to the point of interest about the neutral axis. And this is also called the static moment. And how do we solve for Q? Q is solvable by using the equation Q is equal to summation of AY. And take note that that is just the first moment area above. Okay, it is above or below the point of interest. And then yung I natin, that is the moment of inertia of the entire cross section. Okay, when we say entire, ibig sabihin pang kabuuan. So, may pinagkaiba kasi sila pagdating kay Q because the static moment naman is meron lang tayong kinukuha. Then the B is the width of the cross section at the point of interest or yaan yung thickness or kung ano man yung kung saan tayo dadaan pagdating sa shear natin. The equation above is based on the assumption that the stress is constant across the width B and it is therefore accurate only for small values of B. So dito kasi kay B natin yung value na ito, madalas yan is the thickness of the web. Kasi yung ating shear stress, sabi nga kanina, di ba, that is perpendicular to the longitudinal axis, meaning it is on horizontal. Okay, so therefore, kinukuha natin yung nagiging, ito yung neutral axis natin along x-axis. So, kinukuha natin saan ba siya nagdadaan. Okay, so what is the width? Alright, and take note also that this formula FV is equal to VQ over IB ay ginagamit natin as the general formula. Okay, so general formula meaning meron kang point of interest, kaya tayo merong B. So in shear stress is typically highest at the neutral axis of the beam and diminishes toward the outer fibers. This non-uniform distribution requires careful consideration during design, particularly in beams with complex cross-sectional geometries or under volume loading conditions. So in practice, structural engineers must account for shear stress to prevent potential modes of failure, such as shear yielding or shear buckling. So in steel beams are often reinforced with the web stiffeners or designed with optimized geometries to enhance their shear resistance. So ito yung itsura ng mga types of failures natin. So sabi nga natin, we have a flexural failure or ito yung shear buckling natin. Okay, so kapag kasi nagbabuckle, ang nangyayari lang sa kanya, 'di ba? Ayan, nagkakaroon tayo, may mga nakikita tayong cracks. Okay? So, nagka-crack lang siya. But when we say shear failure, instead na mag-crack siya, ang nangyayari sa kanya, nagkakaroon na talaga siya ng bitak. Okay? So, kumbaga parang kaya natin nakikita na may shearing kasi nga nagkaroon na sila ng pagitan. Okay, nag-shearing na sila sa pagitan nung nasira mismo doon sa beam natin. So this is the distribution of the I-beam. Okay, so 'di ba sabi nga sa atin kanina that the maximum shear stress is occurring at the neutral axis of the section because when we distribute the shear strength, okay, ng ating beam natin, makikita natin that this one, okay, so ang laki niya dito. Eh, saan ba yan nanggaling? Ito po, dito sa ating web. Okay? Pero pagdating doon sa may flange natin, ito lang siya. So, stiff lang kasi siya. Okay? So, kasi kumbaga, di ba, ang pinaka-critical talaga pagdating sa I-beam natin is the web. Okay? Pag naglagay ka kasi ng load dyan, okay, sino ba yung unang masisira? Siyempre, ang nasisira ay yung ating web. Okay? So, kaya siya nagkakaroon ng buckle. So, that's why this is what we call the shearing formula natin. So, FB is equal to VQ over IT or this is just IB as well, okay? So, yung T kasi dyan is just the thickness as well. And then, to get now, the average naman, okay? Kasi kung titignan natin, di ba, yung itsura naman din niya talaga is para lang din natin siyang mako-consider as parang assumption natin na ang nangyari sa kanya is a rectangular shape. Okay? So if we're going to get the average shear stress is this one. We use FV is equal to V over AW. Okay? So wherein yung AW natin is just uh, the depth multiplied by the thickness of the web. Eh ma'am, bakit ganun? Thickness of the depth pa din yung ginagamit. Bakit hindi natin ginagamit si H lang? Yung height lang mismo nung ating web. Okay? Kasi 'di ba ito lang naman yung height ng web eh. Kasi itong part na to flange na yan. Pero bakit kasama pa din yung pinaka-depth niya? It is because it is the entire section. Okay, that is the entire section and technically, yung web kasi natin is, 'di ba, continuous yan pagdating dito. Part pa rin yan. Okay? Because that is just the overlapping of the flange and the web. Okay? So that's why your web still part pa din siya hanggang doon sa top to bottom ng ating flange. So take note again. So the formula, this one, the FV is equal to V over dTW. This is what we call now the average shear. Okay? Kasi kumbaga parang inassume natin na pangkabuuan na talaga siya and that is an average. So clearly, the web will completely yield before the flanges begin to yield. So because of this yielding of the web represents one of the shear limit states, taking the shear yield stress as 60% of the tensile yield stress, we can write the equation for the stress in the web at failure as, so sabi nga natin, di ba, shear stress is equal to force over the area, wherein yung area na pinag-uusapan natin dito is area of the web, and yung force natin is the shear force. So we have V over dTW. And sabi nga natin, di ba, taking the shear yield stress as 60% of the tensile yield stress, so we're going to equate this as 0.6 of our Fy. So therefore, kung ganito pala, kuhanin natin ito, yung part na yan. So we have V over dTW is equal to 0.6 Fy. And if we're going to talk about the shear force only, so lipat lang natin si dTW sa kanan, magkakaroon na tayo ng V is equal to 0.6 Fy dTW. So, but on the other hand, the nominal strength corresponding to this limit state will be nominal strength in shear provided that there is no shear buckling of the web. Whether that occurs will depend on the H over TW, wherein yung H natin dito is just the height lang ng web natin talaga. The width thickness ratio of the web. So if this ratio is too large, that is, if the web is too slender, the web can buckle and shear either elastically or inelastically. So dito, tinitignan din kasi natin, meron tayong condition na ginagamit. Okay? So that is the width thickness ratio of the web. Shear is rarely a problem in rolled steel beams. The usual practice is to design beam for flexure and then to check it for shear. So, kumbaga, ang ginagawa muna is to check it for the flexure before checking it to the shear. For the allowable shear stress of hot rolled eye shapes, so binibigay naman yan or sinasabi naman if it is considered as hot rolled eye shapes. Okay, most of the time naman din that our eye shapes are hot rolled. So, this is our condition. The width thickness ratio of the web is less than or equal to 2.24 square root of E over Fy. If nag-govern or na-check natin or kumbaga parang nasabi nating tama yung condition na to, then your Fv will be equal to V over dTW is equal to 0.6 Fy dTW over dTW times 1.5, wherein the 1.5 is the factor of safety. Okay, so this one, ito, nakuha natin dun sa nakuha nating formula kanina. This one, okay? Ayan. So, kumbaga, nilagay natin that the value of the shear is 0.6 Fy dTW. And then, you're going to divide it by the dt over W. So, kung makikita natin, magka-cancel na siya. So, ang natira na lang sa atin dito is equal to 0.6 Fy over 1.5. So 0.6 over 1.5, we're going to get 0.4 and then we multiply it by Fy. So therefore, if this is the case, then your Fv will be equal to 0.4 Fy. So aside from the shear strength, we're going to talk about also with the shear flow. Shear flow frequently occurs when dealing with built-up beams. So these are beams fabricated with several pieces joined by glue, nails, bolts, or welds. So these fasteners must be sufficiently strong to withstand the lateral or longitudinal shear. So syempre, pag nagkakaroon tayo ng built-up section, so di ba ang nangyayari doon is pinagpapatong-patong natin or pinagsasama-sama natin sila. So therefore, dapat doon ay masigurado pa rin natin yung flow ng shearing niya. Okay? So, in this case, ang magiging formula lang naman natin is just Q is equal to VQ over I, wherein yung Q na maliit natin is this is the shear flow. Okay? So this is the shear flow and same process. V is the shear force and then Q is the static moment. Okay, and then yung I natin is the moment of inertia. So kung papansinin natin, ang nawala lang is yung ating thickness kasi 'di ba yung FV is equal to VQ over IB natin. So tinanggal lang natin si B, makukuha na natin yung formula ni shear flow. So aside from that, so syempre 'di ba pinagko-connect nga natin. So therefore, we also have to discuss about the spacing of the rivets. So hindi naman kasi siya basta-basta lang na gusto natin ganito yung spacing. So dinedesign pa din natin siya. So spacing of the rivets or bolts is denoted by S. So S4 spacing. This can be obtained using the total shearing force to be resisted by the connection. So yung R natin dito is the total shearing force. So take note that is a force to be resisted by the connection. So kumbaga pinag-uusapan natin is the shear force na kayang i-resist ng ating bolts. Okay? And that is this denoted by R. The gross moment of inertia is I, then the shear force is V, and the static moment of area is Q. So meaning, ang nangyayari lang din sa atin dito parang nabaliktad, 'di ba? So kanina VQ over IB tayo, ngayon naman RI over VQ, wherein si R natin is the shearing force to be resisted by the connection. And how do we solve for that? Same pa rin naman, formula pa rin naman natin on how to resolve using the shear stress, 'di ba? Syempre, meron tayong shear stress ng bolts natin and that is just equal to P over A. Wherein yung P natin, that is just denoted by R and yung A natin is the area ng bolt. And of course, this is a connection so we multiply it by the number of the bolts. So to get the value of R, that is just the shear stress of the bolt multiplied by the area ng bolt and again, the number of bolts. Okay, so para mas maintindihan natin yung konsepto na ito, let us go on to our sample problems to be discussed on the following videos.